In '64, I quit Firestone and went on the road and stayed there. Kept doing that for a long time.
So I believe it was Joe Taylor, the promotions man for Martha White, that helped to get you on some of their program, because they sponsored a lot of the country radio and TV spots back in the day.
That's correct.
So was it through him that he helped you get your contract with Capitol, or was that you were just brought to the attention through your increased exposure, or how did that go down?
He was very instrumental in doing that. We both were, as a matter of fact. But I got the recording thing came about in, I guess, the middle of '63, and I started having records, and all of my records that for the first few years all went to the charts and did well. So I got out on the road and worked, and I did that for over 20 years, I guess.
So were you doing package shows, or were you touring on your own? Because I know package shows were popular at that time.
Yeah, package shows were real popular, and they were a lot of fun to do too. So and I did a lot of those. So
did you end up touring with some of the artists that you cited as your influences earlier, like E.T. and Ray Price?
Oh yeah, I rode on the bus with E.T. on one tour. I rode for 30 days on the bus all up through New England and upper New York and all of Massachusetts and the whole New England thing. And it was just a highlight of my life, man. I mean, that man was such a hero to me. And
you probably ended up playing there was a venue near my hometown in New Hampshire, near Manchester, New Hampshire, called the Lone Star Ranch, and that's where all the big country guys used to come in. It was like an outdoor park, but
I've been there many times, man.
Yeah, I live just
Reed's Ferry, New Hampshire.
Yes, sir. I live right on the seacoast, right near Portsmouth. Right over the border.
Yeah,
that's where I'm from. So we had a lot of the greats, including yourself, come through there back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, I used to love to come up there and do that.
Yeah, they had. It was.
I can't remember that guy's name that had that park, but he had some big shows out there.
Yeah, I'm not sure who the owner was. It was before my time, but there was one of the folks that I jammed with back home. Her band was the house band there for a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've heard some great stories about all the folks that passed through there. But anyways, I guess you had your first top 10 hit, which I think was "Thank You, Ma'am." And your first album soon followed, Presenting Ray Pillow. It was released the next year, and so that was '65. So how did it feel to have your first top 10 record after working for a number of years and sort of pursuing music part-time? And then you had
pretty good, I'd say.
And I guess it was back in those days, it was the success of the singles that determined whether you released an album or not. After that point,
I think so. Yeah.
So I guess you. Well, let's see. We'll name some more of your hit records. You had Common Colds and Broken Hearts, Volkswagen, Reconsider Me. And so out of all the songs that you have recorded, I was wondering if there was one song that you could say was your favorite. I know that songs are sort of like children. I think Bill Anderson told me that.
Well, I think my favorite song that I've done it was on that album, Country Class, that I sent you. And it was called I Wonder Who's Missing You Now.
Oh, okay, a really, really great song. That song has such...
It is a good song. It was written by Craig Dillingham and Mark Sherrill and Sonny Throckmorton. I love that song. I still do that song from time to time whenever I go out to the Opry and work.
I think one of my favorite songs is One Too Many Memories. It's just that classic country shuffle beat that you're so famous for. But was that ever released as a single? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was. That was the last single record I put out for my career.
The first generation's record. So you didn't record that before that. That was the first time you recorded it. It wasn't, because I know that sometimes with the first generation's records, artists re-recorded some of their earlier songs.
I think we might have had that on. I don't know, but I did that for. I think I did record that for First Generation, but I also recorded it for that live album, live CD that I did. In fact, as you said earlier, we did that there from what was the name of the place?
The Cannery. The Cannery.
Yeah, the Cannery. Yeah. So yeah, that was. In fact, if you're going to play something, I'd like for you to play that.
Oh yeah, I definitely. I opened up the show with One Too Many Memories, and I played all.
Oh, you did?
All the songs.
Okay.
Yeah, with just from your live album, because I thought it gave them the sort of the atmosphere of being right there in the show, because you're a great entertainer too. So I wanted to expose those who maybe aren't as familiar with your music up here to your great entertainment qualities. And so, but you also recorded. I'd be if I didn't mention this, it wouldn't be good. You recorded "I'll Take the Dog" and "Mr. Do It Yourself" with Gene Shepard, and those were top 10 hit records, I believe.
Yeah, you know what? That's so funny you said that, because the last time I recorded that song, the last time I sang that song was with Gene Shepard at Reed's Ferry, New Hampshire.
Oh, really? Oh, I'll be darned.
It sure was. That's been a long time ago.
Yeah, so you guys have never teamed up on the Opry to sing some of those songs since then?
No. You know what? When I was first started out, Paul, I wasn't real good at picking great songs. I learned eventually. I learned a great song when I heard it, and in fact, when I went to work at Capitol Records, I would listen to literally hundreds and hundreds of songs basically every day, looking for songs for other artists and so forth. But well, whatever. What do we?
But you were named.
Talking about songs. Yeah, I got to where I could do pretty good at picking songs out. But when I first started recording, I wasn't very good at it, and consequently, some songs that I did, I sure hate to hear on the radio.
Well, I guess that probably every artist has that. Mention Bill Anderson again. He wrote a song called "Peel Me a Nana" or something like that. He said it's probably like the worst song he ever wrote. He said that's what he said. But he. And
Roy Drusky had a recording on it.
Oh, he did. I didn't realize anyone had ever recorded that.
Yeah, he sure did. He sure did.
Oh my goodness. But 66 came along, and that was a pretty big year for you. You were named Billboard's Most Promising Male Artist, Cashbox, which was another trade magazine back then, Most Promising New Male Artist, and I think you were even voted the Most Programmed New Artist by a national DJ poll. So that must have felt pretty good, that recognition there from those inside the industry.
It was very nice.
So you mentioned. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know what else to say about it.
No. I just something to mention, along the way.
Yeah.
But you, I'm sure you'll have something to say about this. I mentioned at the beginning of the, the interview when we had when you first came on that you were a member of the Grand Ole Opry. You are currently one. You've been one for 47 years, I believe it is, if I did my math right. But you mentioned earlier that you actually made guest appearances before you became a member.
Yeah, I did.
And so how long did you make the guest appearances before you were actually invited to be inducted into the Opry?
Well, now, I don't know, but I made guest appearances from 60, well, actually, in 63, when I was still working at Firestone, I would still go down to the Opry on the weekends and every now and then work a show down there. But I don't remember exactly. I guess I worked from 63 to 66 when they made me a member.
Yeah, because because April of 66, I think it was.
Yeah.
Do you remember who first introduced you the first time you appeared on the Opry?
No, I know who made me a member of the Opry. Who brought me on and made me a member was Ernie Stubb, but I don't remember I don't remember who introduced me the first time I worked the Opry.
So when you had when you were inducted, was there a big ceremony like there is today, or was it just sort of this is
not really? No. Yeah, it wasn't like it is today. No, not by any means.
And you sort of touched on this earlier when you mentioned about finding songs, because you became quite good at that, and you, I believe you founded your own record company, and you mentioned you later worked as an A&R man for Capitol Records.